Hello, everyone. Sorry for the technical delay. Okay. Um, Today we will have the live streaming on YouTube, and you can use the link in our chat for that. And if some of your friends haven't joined yet, you can invite them over. And I would like to start this session from introduction. By the way, my name is Anastasia Yaguzhinskaya, for those of you who don't know me. I'm the ambassador of Evorich company in Russia. I'm a vice president in the affiliate program of Evorich. I'm a marketing expert in network marketing. I'm a psychologist, master of cosmo energetics, an independent financial advisor, and many other things. So you can read the list of merits and titles yourself. You know, I have always been fascinated with spirituality, energy, and I very much respect various religions. And I know that we are being broadcast in 12 languages. And I'm sure that despite the fact that we speak different languages, live in different countries, and have different perception of the same events, we're still concerned with the same thing, which is peace, harmony, peace within our family, in our countries, and we have people in our community who are concerned with the future generations as well. And we're not going to just talk about how to be happy, how to make sure that everyone around you is happy as well. And we will start with the practice of gratitude. So please give me a thumbs up if you agree that gratitude is the most powerful and inspiring thing. That's what we're going to do today. Practice gratitude. When we are grateful to everything happening to us, even though you might be experiencing some difficulties, you might have some health related problems or other unpleasant events. Still, by practicing gratitude, we build the correct energy field and send the correct message into the universe. So, dear friends, I would like to greet everyone, all the souls that have joined our streaming. And I'm sure that you can feel the unity of all the hearts despite the distance. So now you can close your eyes and thank your relatives, the Lord, and all the guardian angels that are close to us for having this life, for having the sun, for having food on our table. And we would like to wish the entire world prosperity and blessings. And for me, it is a very, very important practice, the practice of gratitude. And I suggest we all give a couple of minutes every day to this practice, the practice of gratitude. And you will see how the world will change around you. Okay, I would like to thank you again for being here with us. It should take us around 40 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but in any case, I'm sure those 40 minutes will be quite interesting to all of you. Okay, so we're going to talk about things that might be new for you. For some of you, it might not. But very often we need to come back to the same information and, and try to look inside, because very often we look outside and forget about ourselves. But everyone should try and achieve the inner peace, inner harmony, so that everything else is okay. And now let's go to the next slide, please. And let's see the topic of today's meeting. And the topic of today's meeting is mission, or sometimes it's called calling. Well, sometimes people are in internal search for their mission, but what matters is that we should be happy and joyous of things happening right now, because it is the present that matters most. There is no need to rush anywhere looking for the calling, for the mission, but you just do what you feel like doing, and people thinks think sometimes that something is too complex until they start doing it and realize it wasn't that difficult. And you need to take away lessons from that and then be grateful for it. And then calling mission will come to you on its own, and you'll realize that you're doing what you enjoy doing. But still, lots of people are in the search for their mission, for their calling. Yes, times have changed. Lots of people will now believe in the power of word, in the power of thought and energy. We realize that our thoughts can really heal souls, and words can change the lines of destiny. And I just cited the lyrics of a very nice Russian band. So words can change the lines of fate. And because with the words of support, we can change people's lives. A nice word can be very inspiring, but it works the other way around too. Words can hurt, but sometimes even the words that hurt open your eyes on things that you have to overcome before you start moving forward. And we all guys were raised according to the old ways, and many of us thought that our job was the most important thing in our life, but few of us really enjoyed doing that. And sometimes people realize that people live in a family, but they do not even realize that that person is not their soulmate. And it is very difficult, and it is a very big happiness when we do find our soulmates and find people that speak the same language as we do. Not in terms of the technical language, but the way we spiritually perceive this world, because some people care about the material part of this world, and some people care more for the spiritual part. And for someone, business is more important and the career more important. For others, career is more important. And for those people, it is not always difficult to speak the same language. And that's where the crisis happens. And if we do not talk those crises through, it starts boiling in us. Very often, we keep back our emotions, keep back our words, and it hurts us, it harms us. And people very often at the age of 30, for example, know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. Think about it. They know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. And tell me if it happened to you when you surely knew what you didn't want, but you were at a loss when you were asked, what do you want? And it's quite an interesting thing. It's not like it's you who doesn't know at the age of 30, 40, or 50. It's just that you didn't identify your needs, your goals at the age of 20 or 20 years ago. You just went with the current, And then this next slide, please. And then you have to ask yourself this main question: what do I want? What should I do? And I advise you to start learning to understand yourself. What do I want? Next slide, please. And it's not like globally or philosophically, but try to understand small things like what kind of coffee I would like to have today, what time I would like to leave my house, what small things I would like to do today. And even if you don't, if you can't do all the things, small things that you would like to do, write them down. And at least that's how you will learn to listen to yourself. And very often our parents do not really ask their children what they want. They just decide for them, like, this is what you're going to wear, this is where you're going to go, this kind of lessons you will take, this is what you're going to eat. And they rarely ask if they want it. And very often parents do not even understand the importance of asking their children, so that the child would realize what, or try to understand what they really want. And then those children grow up and they will have to learn how to do it, how to make wishes, learn to want things, because their parents decided everything for themselves, for them. And then when you learn to understand your wishes, hear yourselves, that's when you will realize what you would like to do, what you want to do, and what is what is the closest to you. And it might seem very difficult at first, but it's worth it. Start writing your own diary every day. And all the people that I work with individually, like personal coaching, we all start with a diary. And this is how you write a diary. In the morning, you write what kind of day you're going to have. What are you planning to do? It's not like a plan. It's like a story. My day is going to be like this. And then you write down your emotions, what kind of emotions you would like to have, what kind of meetings you would like to have, even though you haven't planned them. Just write your diary the way you feel it. And in the evening, you check it, because in the morning you write down and it's like you're planning. It's the gift to your own me. That's how you work. And in the evening, you write what happened for another 15 minutes. And as I said, it's really worth it, because it is definitely not worth it living for 30 years and working a job you hate. So better find yourself 15 minutes to write down what you want in your diary, and you will see the effect it will have on you. Sometimes our thoughts are passing by and we have to learn to catch them. And with a diary, you will be able to do it. And then if you keep that diary for a couple of months and then read it back, you will see how your way of thinking has changed. So what is a person's calling, their mission, how to find that internal symmetry that Davinci wrote about? So the person's calling is their life tasks, the life tasks that they can do better than anyone else. Anyone is unique in its own way, dear friends. And you are parts of God, Lord. And we're all a single body living on this planet. And I know that we're all very rich souls that came to this world in a very challenging times of changes. And we are on the verge of a transition to the new age. In 2-3 years, we will literally not be able to recognize this world. Our parents lived in more or less stable times. They went to the same job for many years. Now it's not the same. You have to adapt really quickly. You need to find harmony between the physical, emotional, psycho-emotional, and spiritual. The harmony that Davinci wrote about. It's just the so-called the golden mean, the golden section. So when you are developing yourself physically, when you are supporting yourself physically, You're trying to be fit. When you're doing the spiritual practices, it is all part of the same thing. And another very pleasant way of finding your own calling, let's talk about it and go to the next slide. It's going to be quite inspiring. So imagine a bathtub filled completely with money up to the ceiling. So imagine, no matter how high your ceiling is, imagine you have like $1 billion. That's how it looks like. And imagine that all of that money is yours. Try to shut your eyes and try to calmly accept that much money. So you need to understand that things that come to your life should not be coming at a peak of your emotions or at a very low level of your emotions. You should feel comfortable, calm. Now, imagine, remember some things, some piece of clothes or a car that you bought in the past. At first you had like really cool emotions, right, after the purchase, but then several months, years later, you do not really, you perceive it, you take it calmly. And that's how you should accept this much money. So imagine a bathtub full of money up to the ceiling, and you feel calm about it. You don't have to rush anywhere. You don't have to do anything like crazy to hide it from somewhere, from someone. No, it's all yours. And now you are comfortable. You realize that if you start spending $20,000 a day, don't think about where you're gonna spend it. What matters is that this bath of money will be enough for you for 137 days. For 137 years, you will be spending $20,000 a day. And feel calm about it, feel good about it. And now ask yourself a question. Try to forget about that money. I realize that you started fantasizing, using your imagination. And now let's try to distance from that thing and have a look at yourself from outside. And now ask yourself, what will you do for others? For the people that surround you, how are you going to serve other people? Just think about it. So the more help we provide to other people, the more problems we solve for them, the fewer problems we are having. This is what our spiritual teachers are telling us, and this is how the universe works. When you give something, you give away something that is yours, but if you keep something, you lose it. So like the rule of a private investor says, don't be greedy. So think about what you're going to do for others when you have insanely big amount of money that provides you total freedom in everything. How many trees you are going to plant, how many endangered species you are going to save, how many children you're going to save, maybe entire villages from drought, from bad climate. Let's go next. It's just those deep philosophical things that we should all feel. And this is where you rise above your cares, those mundane things. Sometimes we have to rise above and ask yourself these questions. So what am I ready to do? Okay, now let's talk about time. Time is a very important resource. You know that you cannot return time or have it back. Let's go to the next slide. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that you should take a piece of paper and a pen, but I hope that you already learned so far that this is what we usually do. So please take a piece of paper and a pen and write down everything that you are doing right now and split it into two columns. Into one column, you will write what gives you strength. And in the second column, you write things that take your energy from you and analyze it. This is your life. You decide whether to do it or not, how happy you want to be in your life, how satisfied you are with it, and analyze. And even if you think like everything is okay, because that's how our brain works. And it is a scientific fact that our brain works in such a way that it shelves bad thoughts and bad emotions. So it tends to forget about those things unless we ourselves take us back to those bad emotions. Usually we enjoy thinking about and remembering pleasant things. And that is why sometimes we're not ready to embrace changes in the world, because we keep telling ourselves that everything is fine. Why should we change? And now the change is happening in every country, because the current problem that I don't want to mention affected every country, every family, every city. And we can influence that. We can influence that with our thoughts. Just think about it, how wonderful it's going to be if we unite our thoughts and recreate in our plans a totally different world without going too deep into mundane everyday things like food and roof over our heads, but just give it a couple of seconds or minutes and dive into the creation of the beautiful world that we would like to build together and focus on that. This is very important, especially when we are so numerous. So friends, split into two things: what takes your energy from you and what fills you in with that energy. Analyze it and add new things to the list that inspires you. You might not be yet doing it, but you want to do it, and start doing it. And then from the list that takes your energy from you, start crossing out some of the items and remove it from your life. Maybe you can remove the amount of those things that you do it, or the frequency with which you do it, and your life will improve. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, time is a very valuable resource. Let's go to the next slide. So for the success in your business, there should be three things to be united: your abilities, your talents, and those skills that you have, you know that you're unique, that what you're doing, then your personal qualities and your desire. For example, if you have a talent of a public speaker, or you have personal qualities of persistence and determination, and then you have the desire, then those three components, abilities, personal qualities, and your desire, will create that, will give you the idea what you should do, in what things you will be successful, and you will feel it. You will feel that your soul wants to sing, and you will feel the vibes, and you will even start noticing that there is no gap between what you want to do and what you're doing. And your thoughts, your desires determine what is in for you in the future. And let's go to the next slide. And a very important thing that we should all remember and accept, and just memorize it, or better, put it on paper and go back to it as soon as often as possible, which is forming events requires lots of energy. So why is it so difficult for our brain to think about future? Why? Neurobiologists learned about it. For our brain, it is the most difficult thing to think about future. The energy comes not just from thoughts, but the energy is directed at creating the future. With our thoughts, we create or recreate your own universe. That's why people who work on their visualization will understand what I'm talking about here, because indeed, just by sitting at home, try and do it for a couple of, for half an hour. How would you like your future to look like in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? And you will get tired of it because you will be using your energy to create that future when you think about it. And very often people procrastinate when we tell them, like, let's write down your dreams and give me a plus in the chat if it happened to you. Give me a plus in the chat if you ever gave a task to your partners to write down their dreams. And instead, a person tells you, well, I forgot to do it. Well, it took me quite some time, never thought, I didn't give it too much thought. And they start procrastinating because this is quite a hard work. You need to really sit down to do it. And sometimes for our brain, it is easier to do complex math instead of writing down dreams. We're talking about some really complex math. Well, maybe we don't do it, but there are people who know how to do it. It's like turning a bulb in your brain, you know, whereas creating the reality is a huge generator. It's not just a bulb, it's a huge generator that can, I don't know, power the entire city. So this is a very hard labor, and you need to know how to learn how to do it. That's why we should sit down and do it. And we're doing something very complex, something very difficult. So every morning, write down and write your plans and goals for the future. And not just write down like, I want a house. No, you should write down the house, close your eyes, and imagine even the smell in that house, the color of that house. Feel the emotions and the energy that you're going to have by being in that house. You should activate your psycho-emotional state so that this creation process of your fantastic future would activate you. So give yourself a lot of like tips and hints. Let's go to the next slide. Here I wanted also to add that energy is important, but another important thing is to be able to choose your path. Very often we are in a state. Well, look, scratch that. Everyone has its own path. We can go together and everything seems fine. We're talking about the same thing. We want the same things. But if our journeys coincide right now and our desires are the same, then the path will seem easy for us because together we're able to do more than doing the same thing but alone. And this is a interesting situation because in this case we have an equation when 1 + 1 equals 11. Like in multi-level crowd investing, when even 100 people can be considered a huge power. And now imagine that the wheels of a car start going into a different direction. Will that journey be successful? Of course not, because we need to go in the same direction. And that's where the success will multiply. And if you see that your paths go apart, then maybe it's time to let go. Maybe this is time for changes. Maybe this is a time for new experience, new business, or new people. It's very often that it's very painful for us to part ways with people that we have known for so many years. For example, we grew together with some people and all of a sudden you decided to do something new, but your friends, they want to do the old things. It happened very often when your friends from your school or your university, they want to stick to the old ways, because it's fun for them. They don't want to change. And then you started thinking all of a sudden about your mission, about your destiny. And not so many people are brave enough to do it. So you should realize your uniqueness, your power. Listen to your soul and see what it's telling you. And remember that people that are akin to you, they will be close to you. And that's where the puzzle will fit together. Let's go to the next slide.
There is such an important thing, the balance cloud, the cloud of balance. Balance between your work, between what you love doing, things you love, family, relationships. How can you get it? Make it balanced. We all know that it's cool when it's in harmony. Yes, harmony is what we aim at, and we search for this balance. We look for the way to make our beloved people to be pleased that we spent enough time with them, but most importantly, that this process pleases you, makes you delighted. And in our multifunctional world, so this is the key word. Before, there was only one focus. So there is even such the word which is very popular today, to prioritize. But 30, 50 years ago, there was no such a notion. There was the notion to set up the priority, one priority only. Whereas now we are to prioritize many things. Why? Because there is a huge inflow of information, knowledge. There are no borders, no frontiers, and we can easily communicate to many towns, cities, countries. Therefore, prioritization and feeling that these priorities make you feel comfortable, it's great. And there are good tools when every 15 seconds, 15 minutes, so there is another technique, you may monitor yourselves. Apart from making two columns, those things that give you energy and those that steal your energy, and then your alarm clock is set for every 15 minutes, and then you ask yourself a question: am I doing what I want? Am I doing what I like? Am I doing what develops me? Or in your notebook, on your phone call, write down what you are doing which does not satisfy you, does not please you. For instance, today I am too emotional about a salesperson at a shop. So at which point this alarm clock rings? Ask yourself a question here and now. Please wake up. Look yourself from outside. Analyze what you do, whether you like what you do, and whether you move to the goal which really inspires you. Well, the next slide, please. This is the cloud of balance, which enlists all those important things. Write them down, like here, like those things that are really important. First of all, do it in pencil. Everything you have in your life, your work, your family, your children, hobbies, sport, do it in any order you like, in pencil first. And then use the ball pen or colored pencils. So color it in different colors. And then you will feel where you would like to send most of your energy. This is for those who are good at visualization. Well, next slide, please. Be alone to yourself. This is the matter of honesty, being frank to yourself. Most important things in your life, because when you live in harmony with yourself, those people who are nearby, they will feel that everything is fine. In particular, if you are the main chain, if you are the chain that is with the highest load of responsibility. If you live in harmony, then around you, all the other people will be happy. Therefore, stay alone. and this is a matter of meditation. I hope that most of you give me a plus if you meditate, listen to some meditations, or you listen to my meditations on YouTube channel. Give me a plus. So there are a lot of new meditations. I must do it. I know it. If you encourage me and tell me, Anastasia, please share your new meditations, I will do it. But if you don't meditate yet, please start doing this, because in this flow of information and energy, information pressure from everywhere, including news, knowing what happens to many countries. Thank you for listening to my meditations. Yes, we must support this world, change it, and not be observers. But you must find some time during the day to yourselves and spend even 15 minutes to yourselves, some good, doing something good, or if it is affirmation, it will be even better, because otherwise you can calm down our nervous brains, and you know that our brains are always nervous. They will find something to think it over, and to stay alone to yourself within 15-20 minutes, or to be outside in the nature, it's great. Well, next slide. These 15 minutes, we mentioned this. And I like this picture a lot. This is a dove of peace, of sincerity, of purity. You know, maybe it's not for everyone, this picture will be quite pleasing ones, but we all know, and there is another very good method or technique which help us understand our purpose. That is to think it over what you would like to hear when you die. It's not scared to be afraid to complete this life. You should not be afraid of the death, but you should be afraid of living your life with no sense. It's great when after you give to your successors some clean nature, clean planet, some legacy. So think it over. What value would you like to give to this world? And this is another hint for you. So think it over, what your children, your ancestors will be grateful to you. And it's a very good technique. You close your eyes and you understand that this is great. You move to a new level, but there is something left behind you. And which emotions would you like to feel after you're living your healthy life to inherit to your children? Which messages, what will you leave for them? Think it over, and it will be another important step in finding your purpose. And then come back and say, wow, so there is still my pathway ahead. It's cool when together we can discuss it, we can share these emotions and this state. And dear friends, I wish you a lot to feel happy, to find your purpose on your pathway. This is a very deep philosophical topic, and I believe you understand that even today's meeting is like mini meditation, and hopefully it's like a melody to your ear. You understand that you must work with your inside a lot, and I wish you good luck, peace and kindness, and together we can do a lot. Let's create this world together and be responsible. Today, come to your beloved and ask them how you love them. I understand that you may do it every day, but today do it again. Well, I do thank you for this. And there are some other slides left. As ahead, there is Eventi. I could not but mention this because I want you to promote this event to take place in Dubai. And it will be our celebration, great celebration for everyone. And it will take place in an incredible country, in the city of Dubai, a very beautiful city. Next slide, please. And all the conditions can be found in the back office. There will be Dubai Expo, where we will display our payment system. It will have its own stand. We are a sponsor of Dubai Expo. There will be blockchain conference. You may attend it as well. And you may take the training for the investment consultant. And so it will be a set of everything. So expo, trainings, and there is a slide with a discount. You can make a screenshot, print screen it, and you can find all the details in the back office in our news, as there is a discount available. 20% discount by paying only 480 units, depending on the date when you buy this ticket. So therefore, please do it. And the closer we approach our event, the higher the price will be. And quite soon, the sales of the tickets will be launched on the 23rd of August at noon Moscow time. You may top up your wallets and you will see the whole program and what you will get, and that there is the installment available. You may take a training course for an investment consultant and a professional investor of different categories, category 1, 2, 3. So take advantage of this possibility and stay with us at our event, because every time it is unique. And I always do my best to attend all the events. Hopefully this year I will be there as well. So we'll see you in Dubai. And I thank you for your time, for your attention, and wish you very good weekend, good moods. Oh, by the way, there is another slide. Yes, please note that every Saturday we meet together. And every first Saturday, there is the summary webinar. Every second Saturday, there is the closed webinar for our partners, where we present the investment valuation and the last performance report of the global investment portfolio. Very exclusive news every second Saturday of the month. And today, the third Saturday of the month, like today, we have a training by ambassadors for everyone interested. And every last Saturday of the month, there is this training by ambassadors for other ambassadors and local leadership, where we share our practices. Please give me your feedback in the chat, whether my session was valuable, meaningful to you. And I do thank you once again. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. It was me, Anastasia.